it's Carolyn here to share another channeled message. This time it is Celeste and me. We are talking about the next wave of Lightworkers, what some people call the Star Children. So this came through to us, and you'll see how we kind of warm up to our topics. It's kind of a slow go sometimes when we get together and go, what are we going to talk about? And then we kind of let the energies gel, and then information comes in. So we're talking about the next wave, the young ones that are coming through. And there was some fascinating information that I didn't expect in this actual topic about the young ones coming in next, the next generation, I guess, of light workers. So it kind of takes some twists and turns and then leaves us with the opportunity for another video down the road with some more detail. So I hope you enjoy this today. And I'm Carolyn. I'm a channel, I'm a distance energy healer, and I'm a spiritual awakening mentor. And I offer these channels for your ascension and awakening journey support. Celeste is a friend and colleague of mine. I'm also leaving her information below because she does work that I do, but it's also kind of complementary. So check out her services through her website that you'll see below. So we're just going to get going into this. There's not a lot of conversation that I'll need to have afterwards, but I hope you enjoy the video and the channeling we do on the fly. So before we get started, welcome to everybody who's new. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You'll get more of these videos. And I also have an email list where I offer a channeled message every week for you. Down below, you'll see it in the description box where you see a video that's offered for you on flow and how to create it for health and wellness. That leads you then to my email list where you weekly will get a channeled message from the light keepers to support you along your journey. So thank you everybody again for joining me. I'm just going to get going right into the video and I'll see you at the end.
Talking about the rainbow children.
Like the new ones coming that are being born now, like 5 and under or whatever, right?
Yeah. Like
or 10 and under, or like kind of 10 and under, like that, or that range, you know?
Yeah. The 10 and under group. Yeah, because it feels like these newer children, besides being so technologically savvy, they are also emotionally savvy. It feels like they get it. They understand, like it feels like these children are much more capable of navigating life than a lot of the older generations.
They just said they are because they've come in with eyes wide open. In other words, they don't have the veil over them as we have. So what they're showing me, okay, they just said thinning veil. So they have a thinner veil. Okay, because they're talking about they have greater clarity. But the problem we run into is like so many of us, older folks, had all that then, right? When we were little, but it got shut down. But what I'm getting, tell me what you're getting on this, that's not going to happen this time.
That's right. That's right. I'm getting that too, that it's not going to happen this time, that these children are going to maintain their spiritual innocence, so to speak.
Oh, they just said integrity. Yeah. Spiritual integrity.
Yes, that's it. Yep. And they're going to hold people accountable. They're going to hold the older folks accountable. Like they won't, like, you know, how the old paradigm, there's so many people still out there, older generations, who keep trying to force the old paradigm on these newer generations, these younger children. And these children are going to just look at them and be like, no, I'm not buying it. That's not true.
I just heard the words transcending the norms. It's almost like they listen, but they won't listen. If that makes any sense. They just said it bypasses them. It's going to bypass them. And there's so many more of them that it's not going to be like they don't have anybody to talk to about this. It's going to become more the norm. Okay, so they're also showing me something else, that they selected parents, lots of them, that are going to encourage this rather than shut it down, like has happened for so long, right? Where it's not acceptable to talk about this, or it's because of religion, and they don't want to talk about it because it's scary. Now, that doesn't mean everyone, but I am very much getting that they selected parents that were going to help them. And again, this isn't everyone, but a lot of them selected parents that are going to encourage their gifts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, these newer children who are coming in, they are already, well, they're filled with light, just like a lot of us are, most of us are.
Exactly.
Yes.
Keep going.
But they are going to continue to shine their light. And their ability to, like, they're really going to be the ones who are going to heal the planet.
Right. So what I'm getting is they come in with a higher vibration, but they're able to maintain it.
That's it.
Okay. So they're talking about matching vibrations. Oh, okay. This is real interesting. They're saying that, you know how we're going through this shift to this frequency, and it's kind of, a lot of us, it's just kind of
a challenge.
They're showing a picture of, this is funny, of like on a lake or like getting on a floating raft kind of thing. And the kids are on the floating raft and they're just laying there and they're just floating along with it. Like, it's just natural. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
It's not bumpy waters. It's not they're going on over rapids, but it's a smooth
They
flow.
come in already in 5D, and they're going to maintain that 5D and above.
They come in with it, and yes, exactly. And
they're going to help us move into 5D more easily, it feels like. Because it feels
they
like,
just said
I don't know about you, but there are lots of little children coming in. I know a lot of pregnant women.
Yeah, and I say I don't, but because I'm not out and about much, but sliding through, they just said. In other words, they're talking about their energies and their frequencies. They're not going to have I guess I'll just say these physical, how do I want to say this? The difficulties associated with moving to a higher vibration. So they're trying to show me something here, and they want to talk about what these kids are going to do as they grow, like what they're going to change, because they're showing.
Oh, they're going to change everything.
Right, I know
they're
that.
They're going to change the educational system.
Well,
they're
going to change specifics.
I'm sorry?
So they're trying to give specifics, like what specifically. And they are. Yes, I agree with you.
They're going to change everything.
Right, but I'm wondering if we can get more information on that, which would be interesting, rather than just offering they're going to change things. Do you know what I mean? Because that seems evident and obvious.
No, I totally understand. Like with the education
about their progression.
System.
Let's talk about their progression from how they came in, which we just started talking about. We started talking about how they're able to. Okay, they just said transcend frequency changes. It's like their bodies are already designed for. Oh, they just said leveling up. So what's going to happen? Let's talk about the progression from now to adulthood.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yep, I can see that.
See, I'm getting they will not be stopped. So I'm wondering what their creations are going to be. What's going to shift and change because of these young ones coming in? What do they do for us? You see my point?
They're going to be the visionaries and the activators of changing all the different sectors of society.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And you know what I'm getting? They're saying brand new kind of human. What they're saying is, as they, you know how our cells are continuing to change as we're in this body, like shifting and changing. They said they're coming in with already those shifts and changes in their cells. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to keep leveling up, but what they're indicating to me with this picture is that they come in this way already. Does that make sense?
Yes. They're already in the 5D. They're coming in with the DNA attached and all of that.
Yep, opened up and crystalline they're talking about is what they're saying.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, so what they're saying is, okay, wait, I want to make sure I understand what they're saying. Okay, they are saying this. They're saying their DNA is switched on, in other words.
Yes.
Like we all have it available to us. It's just that it's, how do I want to say this? Okay, tell me if you're getting this, if this makes sense. They're almost talking about like different eras of bodies, okay? Because they're tweaking our bodies all the time, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what they're talking about is we're having to, like our group, be tweaked as we live in this body. They've already been tweaked. They've come in. Okay, this is going to get interesting. They just said they've been reformulated. Okay, this gets into the shift and change of the human body, the experimenting on the body. And so, okay, I'm going to go here. Can you care?
Okay. Yeah, go, jump.
They just said pods. This is going to sound so crazy, but I mean, I know it seems so sci-fi. It seems so sci-fi, but what doesn't sound crazy? So they're showing that the pods, like pods of experimental.
It's because they're hybrids.
That's it. That's why they're showing that. That's why they're
Mm-hmm.
showing that.
These are hybrid children.
Yeah, that's
and
it. That's why they're showing that.
they have already been activated to the higher vibrational and dimensional systems that we are headed towards.
Yes, they said we've been preparing for some time.
Yes. And
okay, now they're repeating over and over, light beings, star children. Like they're all excited that we're kind of getting this.
Yes. Yes, these are the star children that are the hybrids that are coming in with so many more gifts that we aren't even aware of. Lots of healing gifts. They're going to change everything from the inside out.
Okay, they just said to me, yep, they are, exactly. Okay, so they kind of are stuck on this understanding of the human body because they want us to know, they said, okay, I'm going to just say what they're going to say. Understand that the human body for millennia has been experimented on, tweaked and changed, DNA turned on, turned off, to see how you would adjust to the increasing frequencies and energies. Oh, and they just said, now we have perfected this experiment.
Oh my God. But that makes so much sense.
Ow, that hurts.
Wow, this is amazing.
Because they're really showing me this. So what they're showing me when they're trying to explain this with the kids is, you know how in the movies they show them with the big eyes and like they look like star children. Well, they're showing you that to make an emphasis on this. But they said, so wait, okay, so I'm just going to ask him something. So you said the experiment's now complete. So what does that mean? They said they are here and at the ready. Being birthed today.
Mm-hmm.
And I see them, they're showing, sorry, I keep going on and on. So I'm just going to finish this here. So they're showing these little ones holding their parents' hands. Like they're guiding the parents. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like
they're at the forefront.
Yeah. But bottom line, they really wanted us to know, all of you sitting here watching this video and doing this video, you've been tweaked and changed over eons to come out the way you came out. Okay. And they're doing genetic manipulation all the time is what they're saying for illnesses, for all kinds of things. I mean, forget our doctors here on 3D Earth. There's a lot going on up there in the medical world.
You mean in the galactic medical world? Yes, yeah.
But it's all about the body and what we can adjust to and how we can increase our frequency without blowing our bodies apart, right? So that's what they want to make sure we understand it, because it then leads to the whole conversation about the children are coming in now and they're ready for this. Now, okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to say one more thing and then I'm going to let you talk, but I got to say this while they're saying it. So they're saying these little ones are ready for this 5D experience, but then there's going to be another, like we're going to keep growing in dimensional frequency. We're not done at 5D, right?
No,
so we're going to keep moving because that's what it is. That's about growth and change. And they said, so there's going to continue to be this kind of replication of those that'll be coming in that can then take us to the next level. Does that make sense? And plus we'll continue to change as we're on Earth, but it's very easy to be able to get the experiments done up there to see this and then bring a group in. This sounds trippy. And then say, we're ready. That makes sense.
No, that totally makes sense. Yeah. No, I think that's exactly what's happening, is that these children are going to lead us into, they're already in 5D and above, but they're going to be helping us, the rest of us here on this planet, move forward into 5D and above.
Exactly. So let me take us somewhere else. So it's one thing to talk about frequency and move into a dimension and blah blah blah, but we still are in this human experience. So what changes as a result of that? What are they're coming in? What actually changes in our day-to-day experience? All this, stuff that needs change structurally. And so I'm wondering if we can get some very specific things that they're coming in to change. And I don't mean just like specific. Does that make sense?
I think so.
So
Well,
that's okay. So can you tell us one major area, very detailed, or as detailed as we can get at this time, that will shift and change on Earth because of the new ones coming in? And so I'm just going to spend a second here, if you don't mind. You can do the same thing. Okay, they just said to me, understanding the worth of a human, of the individual human. Okay, so what does that mean? Do you get anything? Are you getting anything?
it feels like these newer children are better capable because they are not attached to karma. They are better capable of keeping us integrated with our higher selves.
Okay, that's it. Because they're showing me, as you're talking, and before you even said it, they were showing me, trying to explain that it has to do with the collective and how it will be able to understand. They're naturally going to understand, even though they're going to have to come through the human stuff too. There's going to still be some of that we're one.
Mm-hmm.
They just said the divisiveness, the division. That's what's going to shut down.
They aren't going to be impacted by what is it that we've called it before, like that karmic web that surrounds the planet. It bypasses them because they are so high vibrational, high dimensional. It doesn't impact them that way. So
Exactly.
they come in and they are already so integrated into their higher selves or with their higher selves that a lack of self-love isn't an issue like it is for the rest of us who've been here on this planet.
They don't have that. They don't have that.
They don't have that. Like, they really do understand what one love means. They understand about unity consciousness. They understand about inclusiveness.
Yep.
They will look at the older generations and shake their heads like, you did what?
Yeah. And what I'm getting is, as they do encounter this on Earth, because there's still going to be some of that, obviously, they're not going to be impacted by somebody, the external forces that cause us to feel lack of self-love or shame or all that stuff. Like, it's going to be easier for them to transcend that. Now, there's something they just brought in that's very important and interesting. So when we think of these children coming in, we're thinking, oh, they're brand new souls. They're unaffected by all of this. What I'm getting is that, yeah, there are some, but guess what? Those who have passed on, that are going to incarnate again, that have got their karma done, because there are people now that have karma done. It's all individual, is what they've told me. I don't know if I've told you this before, but what they've told me in a past channel is, we all say that, well, karma's done now. Well, it's
not for everybody.
No, it's a gradual thing, and it is, but everybody has their own timeline on that timeline, right? So as, say, like Kent's a great example. I don't know, I'm just going to make this up, right? Like, he passed away 4 years ago, and will probably incarnate again if he hasn't already, right? Well, maybe he's one of those who now is going to come in. He's done with his karma, right? I mean, I don't know, but he's done with his karma. And so now he comes in as one of those children, because he's been around for eons. He's done his work. So everybody has that opportunity. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's not just brand new souls, because we tend to think that, right? Like, oh, where they're untouched by any kind of human. No, it also depends on the work. So you can incarnate then again, and then you're coming in with all of that shift and change to your DNA because of the experimentation that's been done up there, as well as the experiences you've had on Earth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I can only imagine that so many old souls would be fascinated with the idea of coming back and not experiencing all the heaviness and the negative emotion attached to being a human being on this planet right now, and the karmic debt and all of that. Yeah,
Okay, so
to
I'm
come
getting
in and do
something.
things differently.
Okay, so there's a message for us sitting here right now is, okay, they're saying all have the opportunity to be the next wave, and they're talking the next wave of these kids, okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, they're saying be consciously prepared to do your work now. Now, don't get freaked out about it, but that's my commentary. Be consciously prepared to do your work now. Understanding that you too will recycle into this higher dimensional way of living. Okay, they're talking about this is the way of life. They're talking about this is the cycle of life. This is, I have so many chills. Are you getting that? You getting it? This is the cycle. When we talk about the cycle of life, right? They're talking, this is the cycle of life through the dimensional shifts and changes. We reincarnate, we come back, we shift up dimensionally because they're continuing to work on the human body and the DNA and shifting and changing that so we can increase in frequency and dimension as we reincarnate again, and we don't have to do it all over again the same way. Does that make sense? Like you always have a group of humans that are coming up the ladder as they're incarnated.
But I want to add in that what's different is that going forward for this next generation, that karmic debt won't be there.
Okay, they just said not all of them, but remember,
not all of them. Okay,
remember what they said about karma, though? It's individual. It's collective, but it's individual. So like you have a group starting and their karma's done, and then the others are going to keep working. I mean, it's not all this life everybody's done with it, is my point.
Right. But that's one of the changes.
Okay, yes. Oh, totally. And what they're talking about is they're showing me balances, the scales, and they're going, that's what it'll do. So like you're going to still have some that are hanging on to their karmic stuff, but the balance of that, I don't know which is the right way. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to have a greater balance of those here who are done with their karma, to your point, but you've got others that are still doing it, working on it. But so it's a gradual move to that. It's not like bing bang, we're done overnight. The whole collective is fine and dandy. That's not how it works, is what I'm getting. I don't know.
No, that's what I'm getting as well. No, this is a gradual thing, but it's not as gradual as it used to be. It's not going to take, hundreds of years. I don't see that.
Okay, so what they're showing me, and I'm not great with the whole time thing, but what they're showing me, they just said momentum has been added. Okay, somebody who's into science will understand this. There's something about force. Oh God, they feel like they want to give me some scientific formula. Oh, when you add, okay, I'm not going to sure be able to explain this, but they're saying increasing numbers adds to the force of this, so the force is greater, if that makes sense. There's some science, there's some formula for when you have a wave and then the force of the wave then increases like more exponentially, if it, you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then the shift is greater. So to your point, what you just said is, they just said it increases in frequency in the sense of the wave. I'm not explaining this all. Somebody that will understand this will probably throw out a formula.
Somebody will understand the physics behind how this works.
They just said it's force and momentum, and has to, it has to do with, I don't know. So that will accelerate what they're using the word accelerate.
Yes, that's it. It's accelerated the process of humankind moving towards oneness and unity consciousness.
Yeah, but what I'm getting, and now this kind of takes us into a different place, but I think it's good to talk about. We might as well. So what they're saying is, you're never there. Like you're never done. Like we think
evolving. You're never done evolving.
No, well, the collective isn't either. So we keep thinking. I think a lot of us think, "Oh, I can't wait for the day when we, whatever." Well, we will continue to see where we can grow and increase in frequency, and it's just going to keep going because I have no idea how many dimensions there are, but there's certainly more than 5.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is what I'm getting is the universe continues to change and shift, and along that, with that, we are going there too. There's not a point in time where we get here and we go, well, we're done now.
Right.
Everybody,
right.
let's live in glory and happiness, but it will always be higher dimensional living. But we'll continue to move into those higher dimensions. So there's always going to be change and work to do, but it won't be the kind we're looking at now. Does that make sense?
Yes. It will be more expansive and creative because we're not burdened by this heavy negative, the negative thoughts and feelings and that negative paradigm of, like we have to struggle to get anywhere. And, all of those paradigms, those negative thoughts and all of that won't be holding us back anymore.
Yeah. They're talking about collective oneness.
Yes.
It'll be more, and that truly is now why, as we've talked, we're seeing so much divisiveness and shift and change. And with the virus, that's opened up a whole opportunity of energetic shifts and changes that we're seeing that.
But Carolyn, I know that we're seeing more divisiveness. However, I'm also seeing that more and more people are coming to the side of the light where they are wanting to move towards inclusion and unity and oneness for everybody, not just for a select few.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about when I say like the division, the split. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
The weight is going to eventually be on the side of the light, like you said.
And it already is starting.
I think so. I mean, it depends on what you choose to see. It depends on what you choose to see. I really believe that too.
That's true. But I mean, I think that carries over for anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now it's interesting because I had somebody once say to me that they had indicated that this is going to take at least another 100 or 200 years for us to even get close to, I don't know what that would be, to the goal. And I'm like, time is really kind of irrelevant. I mean, it's hard to judge that, but
yeah, it doesn't feel like it. It feels like
like we're never done
and changing more quickly than expected.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and you had asked a question earlier about, like what specifically is going to be changed. And I was talking about like the education system and like cleaning up the environment. Mm-hmm. These kids are going to come in with this innate knowledge mm-hmm. and ability to be connected to source so that they can just allow the solutions to flow through them in order to confront the things that are issues.
Exactly. Because they'll just have the connection to the knowledge.
They'll just be like, oh, well, we'll just do this, and this, and it will work. And then things are going to get cleaned up very quickly.
Yep. So I just heard power and authority structure will change.
Yes.
Okay. So see, they're talking about the grassroots thing again.
Yeah.
Leading from the perspective of the grassroots. Leading from the grassroots. And you know who they're giving me a picture of? Because you talked about environmental. They're giving me the picture of that little Greta gal isn't she from Germany? And they're saying she's a star.
I'm sorry, she's a star being. Total star being, that one. Mm-hmm.
So they're saying she's a perfect example of what you're going to see more of because, they just said they will have none of it. In other words, you know how many people, kowtow to, I need to listen to my politician or whatever. You know what I mean? Nope. They're not going to do that.
Nope.
And the change is going to come from grassroots. It's going to just be these rolling waves of shift and change that they're going to bring in with their knowledge that they have and their willingness to change the power structure.
That's it. Because they're not going to back down. No. They aren't going to shut up. They are, look at her. She's this tiny little person and she went up against so many bigwigs, big politicians and they said awful things about her and she was like, whatever, I'm still going to speak my truth and say what needs to be said.
She's a perfect example, they're saying.
And they're going to be more of those types of children coming in who won't put up with being silenced and will have this innate leadership quality. Not all of them, obviously, but there will be some really strong souls who come in specifically to lead us.
Yep. And I'm hearing the words banding together and coalition, like coalition forces, in that, to your point about some will come in as leaders, the others will just know, oh yeah, they're the followers, because you have to have that too, right? I mean, not
right.
And they're going to follow because they already understand.
Yeah.
Because we could probably go into more detail on some other things that are going to shift and change. I don't know if we want to do that, or we do leave that for another.
I say we leave that for another
video. I think so too, because I think honestly we can get a ton of detail on the structures that are going to change, and we know who's going to assist in changing them, and we all have the opportunity to participate in this, even if we're older and closer to the end of this incarnation, right? I mean, because we're coming back. I mean, I'm just here to tell you, most of us will be coming back.
I want to come back. I want to come back as one of those children.
Yeah, but a lot of our human selves right now are saying, no, I don't want to come back. Are you kidding me? I'm done. Well, no, your soul self has a whole different idea of what that even means. So,
your soul self has a whole other agenda.
Yeah. So point is we got a lot of opportunity to talk about this, I think. I think we can get some details. So maybe we'll just finish here. So I hope you enjoyed this today. I think what we're going to do is really consider doing a video on what are the things that we're going to see start shifting and changing as time goes on, and see if we can get into some real detail. Now, whether that's the next video or not, I don't know, because basically, as you see, we sit down and then we kind of go, okay, what do you want to talk about? And lots of times things just come through. Now, we have had some viewers actually go ahead and give us some ideas. So we're going to try to tap into some of those too. But basically what we'll do is we'll read the list of what people have offered us as ideas. We'll also ask our crew, and then whatever shows up, we kind of start talking about typically. So I hope you enjoyed today. And before I leave you today, I want to remind you of the channeling that Celeste and I do together. We talk through your soul journey so you understand not just this incarnation, but the things that are affecting this incarnation that are very likely from past lives. But what we do is we wrap up a soul journey for you and give you a really overarching picture of what you have been through and why you may be going through it now. So again, this is a piece of the puzzle for your full journey. And like we've said, versus working with one of us, where you may get a few chapters in a book of your journey, here you get books of your journey with both of us as we build upon the story with the 50-minute audio recording. So on average, what you will receive as we channel for you your soul journey information. So check it out below. I've again left Celeste's information below if you want to check her information out, as well as mine, purplerainhealing.com, where you can see all my services, distance energy healing, channeled messages, which I have 3 offerings, and spiritual awakening mentoring, which is incredibly powerful, and I help you along your awakening and ascension journey. So with that today, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next video.